So, how would our different theorists view economic inequality? Functionalists would see it as inevitable, and that inequality is built into society and actually helps it run properly. Functionalists would tend to think that those that are making more money are being rewarded for their hard work, investment in education, and their better abilities. Functionalists see the U.S. as a meritocracy, that people get rewarded financially based on their merit and contributions. Functionalists would also believe that people become trapped in poverty due to what's called the culture of poverty. This refers to the idea that people transmit the values, the thoughts, and the beliefs about poverty from one generation to the next. It's this culture of poverty that leads to intergenerational poverty and what makes it so hard for subsequent generations to escape poverty. Another theory that supports the functionalist framework is the Davis-Moore theory, which believes that in order to get people to invest into themselves into obtaining certain positions, those positions must generate a higher reward than others. Conflict theorists would focus on the labor market and who benefits from low wages. It would consider how wealth is concentrated in the hands of those that own the means of production. Marxist theory would focus on how low wages benefit the ruling class and those that run the businesses. The struggle of the working class against those that run the businesses would be a main concern of Marxism and conflict theorists. The Marxist theory of discrimination would consider how discriminatory practices benefit the employers but not the workers. Critical race theory would consider segregation and the depressed wages, poverty, and the lack of life opportunities that are perpetuated by segregation. One concept that critical race theorists consider when they're examining cumulative discrimination is sedimentation. This refers to the idea that racial economic inequality has many layers of structural disadvantages. It supports the idea of cumulative inequality by seeing that there are many different types of discriminatory actions built into society. Finally, we should consider why a nation like the U.S., which has the ability to support all its people on a living wage, is so stratified and unequal. As we've talked about, there is not just one issue, but many structural aspects to inequality. We have a long history in this country of practices that allowed for the taking of lands from people, i.e., colonization, slavery, discrimination against immigrants, government programs that advantage the white majority, and the concentration of wealth which comes from capitalism. We also tend to stigmatize people who receive back some of that government wealth. In order to dismantle economic inequality, we have to change our laws and our policies to promote equality. And that draws us to a conclusion in the chapter on economic inequality. Next up, we'll be looking at the institution of medicine and inequalities in our healthcare systems.